Hey guys, we're going to get started here in a second. This is going to be our weekly show where Cody, myself, are going to go through start to finish on very, very basic wholesale setup, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So Jamil and I just did a live with Ty the Flip Man, and I'm just jumping out of that, jumping into this. So I got to get Cody cranking onto this. So hold on just a second. I am going to get Cody invited to the live. Sorry, guys, I didn't have much time to set this up because I just literally walked out of another deal or out of another live with somebody else. So give me just a sec. We're going to wait for a couple people to jump on here. I know we've been going live a lot lately, and I decided to not go live so frequently. We're just going to do 3 lives a week. We're going to do our Sunday service on Sundays. We're going to do our wholesale hotline on Monday with myself, Jamil, and Brent Daniels. And then on Fridays, Cody and I are going to start doing this show, which is all about the basics, because the challenge is we get so many questions. I get so many questions about things that I feel like when people ask the questions, I'm like, man, that question can be found anywhere online, which is fine. I'm glad that they're asking the question. But the reason they are asking that question is because it's really easy to find bits and pieces of information. It's really hard to find information in the right order. That's why we don't have a wholesaling course. We do mentor people on the creative financing side, but we don't have a course or anything. But that's why a lot of times people will go buy a course, is because the courses will take the information that is basically acceptable or really good information out there, but they'll put it in chronological order and handhold you all the way through. So what we're going to do on this weekly show is kind of bypass the ability to do these. Hold on, I gotta text Jamil. Sorry about that, Jamil. I had to bail on our last live. I was on with Ask Flipman and Jamil, and I had to bail on it to come help you guys out. What we want to do today, so what Cody's doing right now is he's setting up at his own house. I'm here in the studio because nobody's working. And what we're going to do is we're going to go start to end on how to start a wholesale business. And we're actually going to do it for you guys live. And it's going to be fun. We're going to do this every week. And we're going to answer the really, really basic questions. Hold on. Yo, guys, what's up? Mark Motter. Awesome. Mark Motter got a deal last week. I think that deal we'll probably make like 40, 50 grand on that deal. Yo, Cody Barton.
What up?
Freaking myth, bro. Oh, look, Jesse Burrell. I know you're working, dog, but you're not working at the studio with me. I'm the only one here at the studio, dude. Guys, I'm at Jesse. This is actually Jesse Burrell's office. We sublease an office from him, and we utilize the. He says I tainted the office, which it's not true, bro. I don't got that Corona stuff.
Tainted the office.
Yeah, thanks for telling Jeremiah. He's so anyway. I was on a live with Ty the Flipman and Jamil, and we were going through a live, but it just went a little bit longer, and so they started doing some of the stuff that we're going to do right now, Cody. And I was like, I'll just go on them and I'll let them kind of finish that show. So, yes, Claudio, we are going to cover every angle, and we're going to start from scratch. Basically, look at Cody and I as we're brand new. We don't have a staff. We don't have offices. We don't have deals in the pipeline. We don't have any money really in the bank. Maybe we're both pizza delivery drivers. What are we going to do today to get a deal? What are we going to do in the next couple of weeks to get a deal? That's the goal. Is we're going to record this. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm not getting in trouble. So we're going to record this and we're going to put in our creative finance group, and it's going to be on YouTube. But what we basically want to do is going forward next week, I'm not going to explain what we're doing. We're just going to start jumping into it. But essentially, what I want to do for the first 10 minutes is I want to talk about the top questions that people ask. Yeah, that fast is money, bro. I'm fasting every day. Cody, are you still fasting?
No, I actually stopped. I've been thinking about starting it up again. I had a ton of energy when I was doing it, and I did it for, I mean, shoot, 8 months, 9 months.
Yeah, you were crushing it for a while, and then I was down at our title company's office the other day. We closed on that 0% seller finance deal. By the way, what'd you think of that when you stopped by it?
It's interesting floor plan. It's going to be a good property though. It'll be a good little rental once the landscaping's cleaned up, inside gets cleaned up. It'll be a good little rental property. I mean, and there's options too. Like what I love about that deal is it's 0%. We can keep it for a rental. If we get sick of having it as a rental, we could always do our own seller carry and wrap the existing and do like 6-7% and make a good spread. I mean, there's just so many options with that type of property. So I like the deal.
Yeah, it's a money deal, bro. That thing's gonna pay dividends for a very, very long time. It's gonna be good. So I was over at the title company talking to the girls, and they're like, "What's going on with Cody? He seems like he just not himself lately." And now I know what it is. You haven't been fasting, bro.
That's so weird that they say that.
all these girls care about what's going on with you, bro. Like you don't even know it. All these girls are keeping tabs on you. So, Cody, let's go through like top 3 or 4 questions right off the top of your head. What do you think you get asked most frequently from new wholesalers?
What's the best list? What list should I, or what should I do for my marketing? I mean, those are probably the two biggest things that I get asked all the time is, what's the best list? Honestly, guys, if you're brand new, the best list is probably going to be pre-foreclosures. They have obvious pain, right? They're in financial distress in some way, shape, or form. They're in distress where they aren't making their mortgage payments. And that you can get a list of those people. In most states, you can go to your title company that you use and ask them for a free list of your pre-foreclosures. Or if you want to be able to, pick where you want those, you could use PropStream to go directly on PropStream and pull the pre-foreclosures for where you want to be working at. And then be able to put them in a system like Batch to skip trace them. Then you can call them, text them. That would be the number one list if you have a very low budget. The second thing would be as far as what's the best way to market. Well, it depends. How much money do you have to market? Assuming you don't have, this is you're doing this part-time, you're trying to break into the business, I would spend your time on either in a non-coronavirus market, door knocking those pre-foreclosures. But in this current market, I would be calling them, I would be texting them, calling and texting those people. And that could be done for so cheap. So that's what I would do as far as, type of list and then type of marketing. Those are the things that I would be spending my time on if I was brand new and I get asked about all the time.
Love it. Okay. Questions I get most frequently is how do I talk to more sellers, right? So essentially another version of that is I need more leads. I need more leads. I need more leads. I get that. I'd say that's number 1. Number 2, like if I just go in my DMs, like I probably get on my Instagram right now, I'm getting, I don't know, close to 150 people follow me a day just because how frequently we're going live.
Yeah.
And out of the new messages I get all the time, hold on, people are so funny. I get questions all the time that are, hey, I just found out about you. I found out about wholesale last week. How do I jump into wholesale? Like all the way from like, I just found out about wholesale a week ago, which is interesting because then there's other people that are following us and watching us that are like, I've been in wholesale for a year, but I haven't gotten my first deal. How do I get my first deal? So that's my second most frequently asked question is, how do I get my first deal? Right. Yep. So that's what we're trying to accomplish in these shows is we're trying to take the most basic questions that get asked the most frequently and go over them week after week after week through real life live. So what Cody's going to do today is actually let's go through a couple of questions on the side panel here, Cody.
Yeah.
You have the ability to do that as well.
Let's see. Yeah. Yep. I could see.
Okay, so let's see. This is it. This is the number one thing I want to answer for the day. How do you not go insane explaining the same thing over and over? I do feel like a stand-up comedian very frequently. I feel like I'm saying the same act over and over and over. I'm not used to this. I feel like my voice goes coarse very frequently. And that's the reason of doing this show is we're trying to answer the most commonly answered questions. So in my DMs from now on, I'm not going to answer the questions. Usually I'm like recording my video for people that actually DM me on Instagram. They know I actually reply, and I reply with a video a lot of times. I'm going to kind of stop doing that. And now I'm just going to start directing people to the show and say, do you want your most basic wholesale questions answered? Then go to Cody and my Friday show. So thank you, Errol. You're the man. Super handsome. I haven't seen you for a couple of months, but can't wait to see you in Atlanta again. Okay, let's see. Here's a good one. Cody, answer this question for CPG. CPG is always in our Sunday service and creative finance Facebook group. Appreciate them a lot. So answer this question for me, please.
No, that I would say you definitely don't have to be good at everything to hire it out. That's the purpose of hiring it out. And that's also the purpose of like having, if you're in a business partnership, you should not be good at what your partner is good at and vice versa. So the people that you're able to hire, like Mark Cuban talks about it, he hires Harvard graduates because they're good at what they do, right? So you hire people that are good and that are talented. You don't need to be the one that's good at that particular thing. Like I look at our sales team, I look at Tino, he's our head of acquisitions. He's better at acquisitions than I am, and I know that, but it's because the way he is as an individual, his personality type thrives more in acquisitions than my personality type does, right? So you don't need to be good at everything. You just have to be good at finding good people that are good at those things. It's like, what's that expression where if you ask like a goldfish to try to climb a tree, it's never going to be able to climb a tree. You have a monkey climb a tree because its natural habitat is climbing a tree. So you have to know what you're good at, know what you're not good at, and then be able to find and identify people that are good at some of those other skills or that actually naturally, pull themselves to do more of those tasks. That would be the biggest thing, is realizing that and not, and understanding that it's okay to not be focused on a certain thing. Double down on your strengths and help and find people that their strengths are your weaknesses. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was just talking about this on Ask Flipman's podcast just a couple minutes ago. When you first reached out to me, Cody, so there's a guy, he asked a question similar to this. Ty pops his question up on the screen. And his question was, I've had leads for a year and I can't seem to scale my business. I can't seem to, accelerate or scale my business. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I replied back and I said, what's interesting is that you sound very similar to my partner, Cody, who has these amazing superpowers that he hasn't quite realized yet, or he hasn't met somebody that gives him the ability to exercise those superpowers. And then I told him our origin story. Tell everybody like our origin story, at least from the very beginning. How did we get in touch with each other? What was the reason we linked up, and what was that?
Yeah. So basically what happened was I had built in, a traditional real estate business. I had been doing that for a couple of years and, did some wholesale deals, did some investment deals on the side, transitioned out of that and then focused all of my efforts on wholesale. And so what I started doing was I found ways to generate leads. And so I started getting consistent leads coming in, but honestly, I don't really like talking to sellers. I didn't like meeting with sellers. I knew it was just something that I had to do. So basically, I was meeting with sellers and, didn't have a super high close ratio when I was meeting with those sellers. So basically I was getting leads and I was just hitting the ground every single day and, closing only a couple deals a month. And then so I actually found Pace on Steve Trang's Real Estate Disruptor show. Shout out Steve. Great show. If you guys haven't checked it out, I would be all over that on YouTube. That's what I did when I was brand new. Every time a new episode was out, I was listening to that every time that it was out. So I saw Pace was on the show. Literally, he posted his phone number on the show, and I picked up my phone and texted him right then, because he was the top, on the show. He's like one of the best closers in Arizona. I'm like, that's who I need to talk to. So I shot Pace a text somewhere along the lines of, hey, Pace, saw you on Steve's show. Really appreciate you being on there. Sounds like you're really good at closing. I'm getting a lot of leads, but my close ratio isn't super high. I would love to bring some of these opportunities to you to see if, maybe you can, close some of these. And I just want to learn. I want to get better, if we could do that. And then you were like flying to Dallas or something. You're like, oh, next week.
You can't see this, but I have chills thinking about this, because think about this in a year of Cody and I being partners. Think about this. Cody was successful in his own right. Okay. I was successful in my own right, like in both of our own worlds. Okay. When Cody and I linked up, I had 200 people send me a text that day. I was on Steve Trang's podcast. The only person I replied to was Cody. And the reason being is because he brought value first. And then I replied back and I said, awesome, man, we both have something we can exchange. So people who are not great at closing deals, but have the ability to learn, Cody's going to teach you guys some stuff today about how to get leads, right? And then I'm going to teach you something about how to work deals and talk to sellers, okay? We are completely two opposite sides of the same coin, okay? So I didn't want to be tails and he didn't want to be heads. I tell people all the time, I am the face of the operation. People see me more frequently because I'm always freaking talking, but Cody's the backbone of our operation. He's the tail. So heads and tails. Think about that. I just came up with that shit. It's pretty good, actually. Damn, that's good.
Always coming up with these freaking weird ass.
You and I are two sides of the same coin. We're two opposite sides of the same coin. There's the heads and the tail. So I don't want to be the tail. He doesn't want to be the head necessarily. We both can do what each other can do, but he can do it 1,000 times better than me, and I can do his 1,000 times better than him. So linking up, here's what happened. In that 1 year time frame, Cody, now driving a Maserati and living in a subject to house that he's sitting in right now. Cody's living in a house he bought subject to, learned creative financing, and now is part owner in a $15 million real estate holding company in a year. And there's 4 other businesses we own together in a year. Think about what you can accomplish by partnering with the right people. Now, bringing up Jesse Burrell. Look at Jesse Burrell. He's a good friend of the show, good friend of ours. Amazing guy. He's the owner of Batch Skip Tracing. We're going to talk a lot about Batch Skip Tracing, but talking about starting a partnership or starting your wholesale business, it is critical to find people, not partner with them necessarily, but it is critical to find people that can bring skills to you that you didn't have before, right? Or you're not perfect at. So Jesse has 2 partners, 2 human beings that I absolutely love. And those 3 people, I call them the 3-headed dragon. They could not be further away from each other in personality type. They all bring a special, unique ability. Evo is very similar to Cody. Okay. He has a mechanical mindset and a structured mindset of, I need this to happen, then this happens and that happens. Then you've got Jesse and me who are very similar with each other. Jesse and I are business partners in another business as well, by the way. But if it was just Jesse and I as business partners, that business would fail. It would simply fail. We need integrators. We need people that are our tails, our backbone, the strongest part of the business, while we can go out and open our freaking mouth. So that's just proof in the pudding. So Cody, what happened? What did we do? Like, we linked up. By the way, I don't know if you were fasting at the time or what the hell you were doing, but you were on some weird eating shit that I was like, when I first met you, I was like, this dude's so weird.
Yeah, I was actually, I was doing like this 30-day thing where I fasted for a few days, and then I did like literally a month where I was like vegan. So I was on this weird ass diet.
He's like, let's go to lunch. And we go to lunch, and then he was like, he ordered a water with a side of water is basically what he ordered.
Yeah, pretty much. And so I remember we met at that little like Mexican restaurant, and then we're just like, all right, cool. Like, let's do deals. And then you were going golfing later that week. I think it was on like a Thursday or Friday. You were like supposed to go golfing and it got canceled. And you're like, yo, I'm in the area. Like, let's meet at McDonald's and let's call your hottest leads. And so then I just like put all my hottest leads together, met you at that McDonald's, and then we called Desiree and got that contract pretty quickly, actually. And then
we got that contract within like 24 hours of this meeting, and then we made 20 grand on that deal. Plus, we took 100% of her proceeds on that deal and had her reinvest her money into our subject to deals.
Yeah.
That's the power of a partnership, guys. The first deal Cody and I did together, we made 20 grand on it on a wholesale fee. We then went to the seller and said, what are you doing with that money? And we had the seller reinvest her capital that she got into our investments, and she gets a check every single month from our investment from her or with her.
Yep.
Amazing. Well, I forget how that all happened, but it's just funny how that was fast, wasn't it?
Yeah, that one. And then, we started getting more contracts, and it was funny because then I just remember, we just started meeting up, and, I just was trying to just set as many appointments and just tee them up for you to be able to go on those appointments and, get the contracts. And then I remember it was like, because I was in like January, and then like February, if it's like mid or end of February, you're like, all right, this is good. Like, I don't remember the exact conversation, but you're like, this is good. If we don't hate each other by May, like, let's just partner.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was like, hey, let's date for a little bit. And if we don't hate each other by May, because I've had bad partnerships. You know why I've had bad partnerships is because I chose to partner with people exactly like me.
Yeah.
Loudmouth assholes, so we got to May, and then we partnered up, and it's been awesome. We've had a really great run, own a lot of real estate together, have learned a lot of things together. And there's days where literally I don't talk to you for like 3 or 4 days at a time. We both know that each other are handling our other side of the coin, and we don't really ever have to check on each other.
Yeah. I mean, we're doing the deal. We know what's up. We know where we're going. Like, it's
right. Well, I mean, we have weekly partnership meetings and we chat, and there's sometimes our conversations go 2 hours or whatever. But guys, at the end of the day, you need to partner with people. So that's the point. Either partner with people on JV. So go, like, if I'm a lead generator, which again, we're going to get into generating leads here. If I'm a lead generator, I would stop worrying about having to be a master closer. There's another guy, I think his name's Phil Gore. Is that Phil's last name in Dallas? He's a TTP student. Anyway, he came out and visited, and he was like, I'm not a great closer. I'm like, then why focus on trying to be a good closer? Focus on being a good lead generator, because for every good lead generator, there's 10 good closers. I can tell you that. Closers are a dime a dozen, okay? Lead generators are a little bit more challenging. So definitely listen to Cody. Follow Cody along. A lot more people probably follow me on Instagram than Cody right now, because Cody is, again, the backbone and I'm the face. So people know to follow me, but I would follow Cody on Instagram. He puts a lot of good tips and stuff about systems. Like, I've got some good questions in here. People asking like, what CRM do you use? And we're going to jump into all that stuff, because that's part of running a wholesale operation, right?
Yeah.
So let's go through a couple of questions, and I'm going to have you jump into pulling our first list. Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Let's do it.
Let's see. How long of a term did you get on zero seller finance?
20 years.
20 years, because that's how long it takes to pay the deal off. In fact, I posted the 0% note on my Instagram yesterday. I'm not sure if it's still up there, but if you're not following my Instagram stories, you're missing out. Let me highlight this shit. Cody is amazing. Errol Hart. Errol's a closer. Okay. I know Errol. He is a closer. He's out in Atlanta. So if anybody's in Atlanta and you want to hit up Errol, you need to be squatting up with Errol. He's amazing. So we're going to go over lists, scripts, and contracts for sure today. Okay, guys? That's one of the things he wants to go over. Do you ever pull pre-foreclosure lists from ListSource, Cody?
From ListSource, no. We would get our pre-foreclosures list sent to us from our title company every single week. And then if we want to target in on certain areas of pre-foreclosures, we'll just use PropStream, because you can set it down to certain neighborhoods, certain zip codes or cities that you want to be working in, certain price ranges. But you can get them from ListSource for sure.
Got it. So I've got a good thing here. So Ivan Jasso what is the texting sequence you guys use? He then says, I will pay you for this information. So I just had a weird thought. We don't want to charge you for that, Ivan, and I don't want to charge anybody else for that. But what I would do is I'm going to post a link right now. This link goes to my link tree. So it has a bunch of links on it, like all the things that I send people to. At the very top of that link tree, there's a thing that basically will like sign you up. You don't need to be on the wait. You don't need to really care about the wait list, but it's a good way for me to harness and get your email. Go there and sign up for like the early bird access. Don't worry about like the coaching or any of that kind of stuff. That's not what we're doing here. But anybody that wants, I think what we should do, Cody, because I don't think we can do that here today, is maybe we should have Andres, our texter. Andres is one of our VAs guys. He's out in Colombia. I think we have him screen record like an hour of him texting back and forth with sellers one day. And then we take that 1 hour and we email it to anybody that wants to watch somebody live texting sellers for an hour straight.
Dude, that's money. You know how much money I wasted figuring out what type of text to send to sellers and like what actually to focus time on? Like I had troubleshooted with Andres for like months, like just getting the right thing down and like the right conversation and what to focus on, what not to focus on. Am I overqualifying? Am I underqualifying? Or what, what am I doing?
So guys, what I just did is I posted a link. That link's going to open up a whole long list of links. At the very top, this is brand new, but it's basically we're opening up mentorship on the subject to and seller financing side. We get a lot of people that we help individually. And then I've been helping smaller groups of 5 people, kind of perfecting our mentorship thing. The bigger group of people we're going to accept into it comes on April 15th. You don't need to worry about signing up because this is all about wholesale, but that's a good way for us to get your email. Put your name and your phone number and your email in there. Put yourself on the wait list. And then what Cody and I will do is sometime before next week, we'll get your emails and we'll email you guys a screen recording of Andres, our texter, of like an hour of him replying, like sending out text messages and replying for straight like an hour, just doing that and how he replies here, there, everywhere else. And you'll actually see the sequence live. So that's a really great question. Ivan saying, what is the texting sequence you guys use? We will record it and show you exactly how it's done. All we have to do is put that on a screen record. Pretty simple. Let's see. Let me jump back up here.
On Sean's question on VA Hub online for texters. So the company that we use over there, we have them doing texting for us. They're opening up more texters here in about a couple weeks. So if you just reach out and make sure to talk to Daryl, he's the manager at vahubonline.com, and you let him know that you need help with your text management, he can get you set up. But they're a couple weeks out as far as, for text management.
Love that. Okay. So again, guys, Ivan wrote a text. I texted 700 leads this week and I haven't been able to close. Again, guys, we'll give you our texting sequence for an hour, like an hour-long video. We don't have that video made. It's just a thought that we've just popped up with. And if that's truly what you're having the most trouble with, then go to the link I just shared, sign up for the early bird wait list for that mentorship. I won't bother you with the mentorship. This is all wholesale stuff, but it's a good way for me to gather your email.
I would say too, Ivan, texting is about volume. 700 texts out isn't enough volume. Like we're sending anywhere from like 5,000 to 10,000 texts a day. So, and that's to get, probably anywhere from like 5 to 10 leads a day. So that's, 5 to 10,000 texts a day. So you have to up your texting. That would be the biggest thing, is realizing sometimes it's not that it's not working, it's you're not doing enough of it. It's like if you're doing direct mail, you send 100 mailers, you're like, I sent 100 mailers and I didn't get a deal. It's just the volume. You have to do more volume.
Right. Here's a good question. Mindset stuff. Guys, we're going to answer a couple of these questions and jump into the whole like pulling lists and all that stuff. And then we're going to get on the phone with some sellers and stuff. It's going to be a good one. Can you guys talk about mindset first? I think it's an important step in the process, right? Absolutely. Especially those in a competitive market like Phoenix, Arizona. Cody, answer this one for us, bro.
Talk about mindset. Yeah. So I think one of the Well, one of my favorite guys, Zig Ziglar, one of his quotes is, he's like, motivation doesn't last, but neither does showering. That's why you have to do it daily. Meaning, like, you have to be putting good in consistently so that you can get good out consistently. So if you're getting, negative things, you're watching the news, you're watching the negative stuff with the coronavirus, you're seeing other people, you're like, oh wow, there's too many people in this market, it's too competitive. Whatever you're thinking in your mind is going to eventually come out into your reality. You're going to attract the way that you're constantly thinking to prove your mind correct. So you have to be putting good things in. And if you're thinking abundantly, meaning like you're reading the books, you're listening to the Real Estate Disruptor show, you're plugging into these calls, you're talking to other wholesalers doing deals, it's going to allow you to have an abundance mindset. Where people get a scarcity mindset. And I was actually talking to a wholesaler yesterday, a newer guy. He's like, there's no deals in Arizona. It's too competitive. It's just, all the deals are, have gotten eaten up. And it's just, I have to go to another market. And I'm like, really? You have to go to another market? Like, we're getting deals every single week. And it's all about the mindset, because it's an equation. You do marketing, you get leads. From those leads, you have to know how to convert those leads into contracts, and then you convert those contracts into deals sold to your end buyers and close those deals. But you have to have your head right. Without your head right, nothing else is going to go right. So you have to work on your own mind so that you're able to get good things coming into your life. If you're a type of person that's negative and woe is me, everything's always so hard and it's too competitive, it's too much, that's what you're going to continue to attract. But if you get yourself reading the right books, listening to the right information, you're going to allow yourself to prosper. You're planting seeds of abundance instead of letting your mind, sit at, idle through the day, which then grows weeds. It's like in your yard. You have to keep up on your weeds. So you have to make sure that you're taking care of your yard so it doesn't grow full of weeds. And that's the same thing with your mind. Whatever you're planting is what you're going to get. It's, whatever you're sowing, whatever seed you're sowing is what's going to come back.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, for me, a lot of people ask me, how do you keep going? How do you stay so busy? I'm like, I wouldn't have it any other way. In fact, if I am idle at all, that's where I start having any sort of doubt. I keep myself busy the second I wake up, not because that's who I was built as, but that's what I know the alternative. The alternative is if I'm not busy, my calendar's not bracketed in, I'm very organized. I know what I'm doing every minute of every day. And if I have an extra 20-minute block, I find a way to fill that in. I never have a dull moment to stop and think about anything other than creating, doing, and connecting and networking with other people. That's what I do all day long. So quick question here. Joe Casias. So Joe, yes, the mentorship that we are doing is going to include everything. So the name of the website is sub2.com. And everybody that just jumped on, let me clarify what this is, why we brought this up. This isn't, I'm not trying to turn this into a whole mentorship thing, because we try and keep that really, really small. The mentorship, the reason that got brought up in the first place is because Cody and I were asked a question a couple minutes ago, for people that are just tuning in, that they wanted to know our texting sequence when we send it out to sellers. We thought, why don't we record that? We have a VA out of Colombia named Andres, and we are going to record a screenshot, maybe even like a full day. Shit, I wonder if we could upload like an 8-hour session of him literally just texting people all day long. I think that'd be pretty valuable. So guys, we're going to take a screen share of our texter, Andres in Colombia, who manages all of our texting. Actually, we have 2 people or 3 people right now.
We have 3 now. It's Andres, Gerald, and Gino.
Do you see how I don't even know the answer to that question? That's why I need Cody in my life. Okay, so Cody is managing 3 texters. Maybe what we do is Andres, would you say, is the best?
Yeah, Andres has been with us for, over like a year and a half.
So we're going to take a screen share of Andres sitting there texting sellers all day long. We use batchleads.io for our texting. Use our coupon code. It'll get you 500 free texts to kind of test it out. Also, that code is in that link I just shared as well. So we told everybody, if you wanted the screen recording of that video, we'll send it to you in an email. But go down there and click on this link. And on that link, it will give you the ability to sign up for the mentorship, or at least talk about the mentorship when it becomes available. And if we get your name and your number and your email, I will give you the screen record of our text platform and all that stuff. I don't really have any other way to get your email except for telling you to email me, which now I've got 500 emails I got to go through. So in that process, Joe then asked the question, will your mentorship include seller finance? Yes. The website is called subject2 or sub2.com. We're doing sub2, seller finance, lease options, wraps, every single thing in creative financing that mentorship will cover. It is a full start to finish, walking you through how to get deals, how to build your portfolio, how to build your empire and your cash flow situation. It is a full, robust mentorship. It is not just some course that you watch digitally. It is way more than that. So if you are interested, great. But if you're not, at least put your name and your email in there, and we'll get you an email. We'll email you a screen recording of Andres with our text sequence. I think that's a freaking great idea.
Hey, this is I just was like laughing inside. Creighton asks, if you two are opposite sides of the coin, how do you deal with disagreements and communication differences, or do they not exist?
That's a great question. I don't know. Have we had many?
No, I think it's just like we just have like different, it's like we're different people though, right? So it's like we have different perspectives, which I think is actually helpful because my mind is like,
bring up your profit first. Like bring up that whole thing. You brought that up to me. Tell people why you brought it up, how you brought it up, and then how I replied to it and what we're doing now.
Yeah. So there's a book, Profit First, which basically is all about making sure that you're paying yourselves a profit from the company before you're, reinvesting money, because that's one of the things that people do as entrepreneurs that I've, really took away from the book is people are like, yeah, I'm reinvesting. It's like, well, when are you supposed to take a profit from the business? And so it does a really good job at breaking down, where money should be going: profit, operating expenses, taxes, salaries, basically all of those different accounts, emergency fund account. So it breaks all of that down in a really good way. And so, in a lot of ways, and just transparency, that's what a lot of what me and Pace were doing over the last year was reinvesting, which I don't think I regret. I know you don't either. It's just we've accomplished so much so fast in this short period of time that now I think it's, the right time to then start, getting stabilized in a way where it's, an actual method behind the way that we manage, all the revenue that's coming in. So I knew when I was reading that book, I was like, oh, like I was nervous. So like, this is just being totally transparent to everyone on here. It's like, it's not perfect. I was nervous to bring that up to Pace and say, hey, we should follow what this book is doing. I know Steve Trang is doing it. A lot of other Donovan Ruffin is following this model too. A lot of guys are following this model of managing their company's money. And so, bringing that up, I was a little nervous because with Pace's personality, he wants to drive and just, crank and not miss opportunities. And part of that book is it's like you can't overextend yourself. And it's kind of this weird dynamic there that, has to shift. And so I was nervous bringing it up. And then I was actually surprised that, Pace was actually pretty on board with it.
Yeah, I mean, I took it to the next level. I was like, okay, let me create a cash flow sheet. Let's start. What do you want me to set aside for taxes and profit and owner distribution? And we've got a whole spreadsheet specifically to run our business as the profit first model. I was like, I remember when you brought it up to me, and I was like, awesome. And the way you brought it up to me, I was like, oh, he was actually kind of, he had trepidation or he had hesitation in bringing this up to me. So instead of like, just saying, okay, let's do it, I was like, I want to show him, not by my words, but I want to show him by my actions and be a good partner and invest my time and energy into building a spreadsheet that actually forces us to allocate those funds the appropriate way. And in fact, I had a conversation with my wife this morning. She was like, hey, you guys have X amount of dollars in the bank. Does that mean you're going to go buy a bunch more properties? And I said, no. Cody and I are implementing profit first, and it's X, Y, and Z, and this is what it means. She's like, wow, I love that. That's great. She's like, Cody's a great partner. So not only did I buy into it, I give him credit for the idea, which is another thing, because He gives me credit for ideas, and we're a good partnership. I don't think we've really had a disagreement. I don't think we've had, I remember one time we had a little bit of a tiff. It was in one of our level 10 meetings. You asked me to stop doing something. You remember what it was? Because I forgot. It was stop. You were like, we are having these level 10 meetings and you talk and you just want to drive, that I'm not getting what I need out of these level 10 meetings. And I said, okay, so here's what I need for you in return. I'll let you run the meetings. I'll let you be in charge of the meetings, but I have a hard time having a gap in what, like,
no idle time. So it's just having everything ready to go.
Right. Have everything ready to go. Otherwise, my dominant personality will immediately want to fill the dead air. That's just my personality, right? So I go, as long as you don't have dead air and you've got a good plan, I'll sit there and be quiet. And I bought right into it. But you were afraid to bring that up to me because you thought it would hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Bro, you don't know this by now. I already know I'm a bag of shit. You can call me names all you want. You brought that up to me, and I think that was the only time where I go, really, man? I was like, if you want to run the meeting a certain way, then you need to run the meeting. And I was a little bit defensive at first, but then I realized, like, Cody should be running the meetings anyway. Like, he's more structured in that sense anyway. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Anyway, we've gone down a wormhole. Guys, for anybody that just jumped on, because what will happen on these shows, I'm not like an influencer in the sense of, like, we actually understand how this all works. But we'll end up having about 3,000 people watch this show, but the average viewership stays between like 160 to 250, somewhere in that frame. So there's people that come in and out, and they might miss what they have to say. So guys, if you click on the link and you go to the mentorship thing, fill your email in there, and it will get you a screen recording of our texter actually texting sellers, maybe for, I don't know if an hour would do it justice, maybe 2 hours. We'll get a screen record and give it to you guys so you guys can just sit there and watch. But let's go through a couple more little questions. And different entities are supposed to take a salary, like S Corp versus LLC. That's a good point. Thank you, Paul Rowe, for providing your email.
I'm gonna use the restroom while you answer those questions real fast.
Okay, I'm gonna save this question for you when you get back.
Right.
Brandon Rayburn, I'll come back to this question, okay, bro? Cody's got a small bladder, by the way. That's one of the things I had to learn about him. And Gage, you've got a good question here. I don't know the answer to that. So that's the great thing about having a partner. I focus on closing the deals and managing the sales department. Cody focuses on generating the leads and mastering the system. So you guys are going to see what Cody does on that, and he'll be able to answer those questions. Evangelina Gardner, I'd like to join the mentorship. No problem. If you want to be part of the mentorship on the seller finance, creative financing side, we go through, again, it's like it is absolutely what I spent. I spent $40,000 on a mentorship at one point on creative financing. And I can tell you what we're doing is a fraction of the price with 10 times more value. As you guys see how hard we work and how much value we provide, just think about the people who actually pay us what they get. Cody, I got 2 really dope ass questions for you, bro.
Let's do it.
Okay. Brandon Rayburn, this is a good one. Brandon, thank you for your support, by the way. You're dope. We appreciate you. You're always watching our shit. You're awesome.
Yeah, Brandon. So first of all, if you're a visionary and you're trying to be an integrator, you got to stop that. But if you are an integrator and you're just trying to get better as an integrator, focus on the things that an integrator should be better at, right? So that would be like marketing, systems, networking with other people. So whatever market you're in, finding other people in your market that are integrators. It'll probably be harder to find those people because they're not usually the ones at all the meetups. But you could ask around different visionary type personalities and they'll usually know the integrators, right? So, networking with other people that are integrators, and then, other things to get better. Just mastering your marketing. So like figuring out which marketing channels you're going to use, get really good at it. Then also on the system side, as an integrator, you're doing a lot of the back end of the business. So pretty much focusing on everything else within the business besides the sales And I mean, that's pretty much what an integrator's biggest focuses are.
Got it. So here's another one from Gage.
Different contacts every day. Yeah, text is expensive to do on a mass scale, but the thing you have to also realize, Gage, is you're going to be retexting some of those same people. So the same list we're going to be hitting over and over and over and over and over and over again. Six times, every single month for 6 months, we're re-hitting those lists. So you have to realize, yes, at first you're going to be pulling more lists, but then over time you've already pulled so many lists. We have all of Maricopa County's data, so we just are texting to it every month, and then just recycling through that same list. So we don't have to keep buying the data over and over again, but things change in people's lives. So you may have texted someone today about their property and they were not interested, but 2 months from now they get a job transfer, they lose their job, something happens, and now they're a motivated seller, and you text them, now they're a seller, right? So that's what you have to realize. It's not 5,000 to 10,000 per day indefinitely of new data. You're going to be retexting and recycling that data over and over again.
Love that. Okay. Here's another question.
When do we go from texting to getting them on the phone? Are they interested in selling, and they're actually they're open to an offer, and they're actually interested in selling. They don't just want an offer. That's one of the biggest things that I just have our texters qualify on is, okay, they are open for an offer. We'll ask them if they've been considering selling, or they just want an offer. Because most times that we've found, when people just want an offer, they're a waste of time. But if someone's like, yeah, I want an offer, and then they're checking up with them like, okay, well, have you been considering selling, or you just want an offer? Yeah, no, I've been considering selling for X, Y, and Z. So we're qualifying them a little bit more to make sure they're actually a seller. They actually want to sell, because your job when you're generating leads isn't to find and make people want to sell. Your job is to sort and sift through people and find the ones that want to sell, and then get it to your sales team or you as a salesman to convince them to sell to you. You aren't trying to convince people to sell. You're just trying to find people that are already going to sell, whether it's to you or somebody else. And then your sales side is going to actually get them to sell to your company.
Love it. Okay. I got a handful of really good questions, actually. Cody, do you have a video about texting? Will you basically tell him the same thing I've been saying for the last 15 minutes?
Yeah. So what is that? It's closing funds. Oh, sorry. We're 99th is closing, and they're just sending an email there.
Which one's 90?
A mobile.
Is it the mobile on the west side?
Yeah. Closing funds. What is this? Yeah, it's one of them. It's not the flip. It's a wholesale that we have.
What did we make on that?
Assignment fee, $22,000 to American Home Offers.
What are we going to do with that? With profit first?
We're going to pay our team. We're going to pay into our profit account. We're going to pay into our operating expenses account and our owner's comp account.
And our tax account.
And our tax account.
Got it. Okay. So Mike Aziz, we don't have a video about texting. We don't really have like a program or a coaching course around texting or wholesale at all. That's why we give a lot of this stuff away for free. However, on our mentorship page for seller finance, creative finance, and building a portfolio, and even wholesaling, subject to essentially just learning the creative world, we have a mentorship you can sign up for. And in there, if you just sign up for it, you don't need to sign up for it. I'm just asking you, go put your information and your email in there. We'll get that email. Somebody on our team will. I won't be able to manage it. Cody won't be able to manage it. Too many people will do it, but somebody on our team will get you a screen recording of Andres, our texter in Colombia, actually texting our sellers all day long. We'll maybe do like a 2-hour record. Do you think that we could do 2 hours? Is that too much?
I mean, we could probably get him to do it.
Okay,
give him a little bonus for helping us out.
Love it. So, Cody, what does the life cycle of a property entering your system look like? Give them two life cycles. One that's a dead lead and one that's a deal that we contract.
I mean, so basically from a lead, something is not a lead until it's in our Podio, in my opinion. It's just data and phone numbers that you're texting and calling and different types of lists. So all that data is getting called, they're getting texted or mailed or whatever. And then once that goes into our Podio, which is our CRM that we use to manage all of our leads, it goes in there. Our acquisition team then calls that lead, qualifies them based on motivation, price, timeline, condition. So qualifies them on those four things, recognizing that timeline is going to show that they're a definite seller within a definite timeline. Price shows a general idea of where they're at. Condition lets us know, is the property in distress? Is it not in distress? And then the motivation lets us know, why do they want to sell? Are they actually a motivated seller, or are they just interested? So the life cycle is, it goes through that process. So it goes from just data and numbers to an actual, maybe a potential lead of somebody that wants to sell. Sales team qualifies that as an actual real viable lead. Or if they're just somebody that's just a waste of time, they're not actually interested in selling, they're going to be marked dead. But if they actually want to sell, they fit that criteria, we're either going to get an appointment set or a phone appointment set with them and either get the deal contracted, or we're going to, burn it. Like, we don't let our leads just sit. We're either killing it, or we are allowing that lead to, move down the pipeline eventually into a contract. So that's the process on that. How do you manage 5,000 to 10,000 texts a day when you get their responses? What's the response rate? How do you manage them? So we have a virtual assistant that does.
Where do we get our virtual assistants from? A lot of people ask every time here's the thing. Sorry, I got to take you off solo layout. We get a lot of questions from people about VAs. Can I tell you something that I'm maybe really, really stupid or behind the ball on this one?
Mm-hmm. People don't know what VA stands for.
No, I know what it means. I'm saying when I first encountered finding a VA, I would go to all these websites and I would go to Craigslist and all these places to find a VA. And I'm like, it wasn't until maybe 5 months ago that I realized that there's companies that will actually get you a VA. They'll manage the VA. If your VA sucks, they'll replace your VA. They'll onboard and train that VA and manage that VA for you for $2 an hour, right? So anybody that is looking to actually start having a cold caller or have somebody text for you while you're at work, which I want to jump onto this question with Dan Wen in just a second. But how do we manage that is we have a VA company. How many cold callers do we currently have? I know one company shut down and now we're focused on just VA Hub Online. They shut down because of the coronavirus, but VA Hub Online stayed open. How many cold callers do we have with them right now?
We have 3 with them right now.
Okay, so we have 3 cold callers with them, and then we have 3 texters as well. So if you guys are looking to have somebody manage it for you,
we're doing both.
Right? Oh, really?
They're calling, and in between their calls, they're texting. So they're sitting there on the dialer, dialing, and then they're texting back.
Freaking love it. So guys, go to VA Hub Online. I don't even know any of my cold callers' names. I've never encountered them. I've never had to manage them. I don't think Cody really gets involved too much in that. He talks to Daryl, but more often than not, Daryl's the owner of VA Hub Online, and you don't have to dick around with trying to find a VA. I felt like when I was trying to find my VA, before I ever met Cody, and Cody already had Andres on staff, I was like, where do I find these people and how do I talk to them? And dude, there's companies that do all that stuff and will save you so much more time. My time is valuable. I know everybody else on here is super valuable. And I'm going to let Cody finish this. I just Kanye Wested Taylor Swift. I just was like, I'm going to let you finish. But I want to make sure you guys understand, the way we manage them is we hire a VA company that manages VAs that do all this stuff for us. And it's very, very inexpensive. But when you first start out, just hire one of them and they'll basically do the work that 10 Americans would do for 1/10 the cost. That's my personal opinion. But Cody, keep answering that question. Sorry.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, as far as, having the virtual assistants, like the range of a fair rate that you're going to be paying to have a virtual assistant, and I'm super like honest with this because I've went through literally dozens of virtual assistants. If you're paying anywhere under, if like some people are like, oh, I'm gonna, get this guy from Craigslist for like $3 an hour, like anywhere from like $2 to $4 an hour. If you're self-managing them, babysitting them every day is pretty common. If you're paying a company to help, manage those for you, you're usually going to be paying anywhere from $7 to $9 to $10 an hour is pretty common for that. But what's John? So you looked up VA. So John, it's actually vahubonline.com. I just posted it in the comments there, so you can take a look at that.
The link to their website's also on our link that I keep sharing. That link I keep sharing with everybody is like a link to everything, like PropStream discount, batch leads discount, VA Hub Online, like everything you guys want to discount on is on that page. And if we don't have, like, even we just got a discount code from, I think, Carrot Website Company.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to add that link. I've just been basically asking everybody in the industry that I know, just asking, like, can you give us a discount code for everybody that's trying to get into this business to like make it easier for them to branch in? So the code that I keep sharing with you guys, the link I keep sharing with you, will go to like our YouTube channel. It'll go to our Facebook channel. It'll go to all the discounts that we currently have. And if you guys want a discount on something, high likelihood is that we know the owners of the software company and we can get you guys a discount on it. Just ask us and we'll see if we can get you a discount. But VA Hub Online, the link to that website is on there. I don't have a mastermind. I don't have a mastermind course. It's a mentorship program. It's very, very, I think masterminds are kind of outplayed, to be honest. I feel like mentorships are where it's at, like having somebody that's actively running the business take you through the steps and actually helping you. It's kind of like the difference between, I think an online course is like leading a horse to water. A mentorship is forcing the water down the horse's mouth. It's like, I'm going to make you drink this water. You are going to be successful. You are going to crush it. And I'm going to make sure that happens. So that's kind of the difference on that. Sorry that I'm going down a wormhole. I did have a really good question up here. So John Routon. Pace, I looked up the VA Help Online. It's VA Hub Online. I'm so sorry. I have a lisp maybe, but go to the link. It's in the link tree. You'll see VA Hub Online is there. It's just a link. Pace, I'm not sure where to find your recordings that you do live with sellers. No karate chop, please. So guys, let me help you guys out. I will post that link to the it seems like it gets lost in translation. So anybody that goes to the link tree and you sign up for the like mentorship thing, just put your name and your email in there. Anybody sends an email, I will give you a Dropbox link of all the voice recordings that I've done in like the last 30 days, all the recordings I've done with sellers. And I'll put them all in one folder so you don't have to go search for them all over the internet. And I'll just put them all in a Dropbox link. Hopefully that helps. Cody, how do we protect our data when working with VAs? Oh, damn. Claudio legit asked some of the best effing questions, dude. Like, I've actually never even thought to ask that question, but I don't know. Cody, how are you protecting our shit, bro? I don't even know the answer to that.
I mean, I guess it depends what you're trying to protect. I mean, all of the services that we use, I give certain user permissions to our virtual assistants. So they have access to be able to log, like on call tools, for example, they have access to log into call tools and start the dialer and start calling, and they can fill out the web form to submit leads. That's all they have access to. And then on our texting service that we're using with Batch, their user permission is log into your texting seat and you can text leads and you have a web form to fill out your leads to. So the thing is, it depends on how much access you're giving to your virtual assistants. Like some of our virtual assistants we've had for a long time and we trust them. I trust Andres. I let him have access to the list because it takes some stuff off my plate. But I mean, I think that just comes down to trust. If you've been using the same virtual assistant or service for 3, 6 months, 9 months, and they've been doing a good job. They're consistent. They show up on time. That's, that's what I would say to protect it. And then the other thing that we do is we use timedoctor.com for VA Hub online. Every VA that's on that service, their screen, they clock in when they start their shift. And when they clock in, it starts tracking and it records their screen the entire time they're working. It tracks how many times they touch their keyboard, tracks how many times they touch their mouse, tracks every single website, tracks how much time they've spent on every single website while they've been working for you. So, I mean, there's not much room for them to do anything because we're monitoring it heavily.
That's the recording that we're going to get for you guys. We're going to get that recording of Andres or one of our people texting our sellers and working through our flow so you guys can actually see what it looks like from a full-time VA perspective. Dude, I've never even seen that personally. I would love to see that. Think about if you're a brand new wholesaler or brand new investor of any sort, that would completely shatter the majority of people's paradigms of what they think it looks like, they think it should flow like. I've never seen a YouTube video. I've never seen a book. I've never seen anybody talk about the actual workflow of a virtual assistant on a daily basis. That's pretty dope value.
Yeah. I'm like, we just got a lead while we're on the call. There's the address. Don't steal our lead.
Oh, dude, it's so funny. People will screenshot that shit and be calling on the seller right now, bro. So guys, I used to do a lot of these like swipe up features on my Instagram and share our voice recordings. But what I learned is that when we share things with people, there's like a good 5% of the viewers that are, they don't have good mindset. And so they'll steal things from us. So for example, I've shared voice recordings with myself and a seller the day of the appointment. So I go to the appointment, I record the conversation. Of course, I tell the seller, hey, I'm recording the conversation. I go out in my car, I'm heading back to the office, and I'll upload it to Dropbox, and then I'll tell everybody like, hey, swipe up, and you can hear this voice recording of me and a seller literally just walked out of getting negotiating with the seller. And the people will listen to the recording, especially here in Phoenix. They'll listen to the recording, see if it's a seller they've spoken to. They'll decipher who the seller is based on the conversation and the voice of the seller. They'll then go, oh my gosh, that's a lead I'm working. They'll download my Dropbox link and email it to the seller. This has happened so many freaking times. And so we've stopped just uploading it onto Dropbox. If somebody's not willing to give us their email and at least tell us who they are, we're not willing to share back because I've had sellers call me and go, hey man, I know you warned me that somebody would probably do this, but you were right. 15 minutes after you left, somebody called me and said that you recorded our call and this, that, and the other. I'm like, this is why I tell all the sellers I'm recording the call. Anyway, Freddie H asked a good question. What dialer system are your callers using to allow text? So I believe, let me answer this and you can tell me where I'm wrong. Our dialers our VAs are using two systems. They're using call tools to call, and then they're using batch leads to text.
Yep. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Does call tools allow you to text?
No.
Okay, got it. So if you have a spare $500 to $700 a month that you could spend on VA time, what would be the return on that investment? My belief is if I had a full-time cold caller, dude, you could like put this into opportunity cost as well, and you could like really blow this up out of the water. But like, because think about that. How many people have been trying to get into wholesale where like I get frustrated if we're not getting 3 to 5 contracts every week, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Whereas other people have been in this business for a year, and because they're just not utilizing the right tools and utilizing like the basic information that's available, they'll spend a year of their life not getting one contract. So I know, Patrick, I'm not getting on you. I'm just like, this brings something up in my mind. So the return on investment for having somebody actually calling for you, because I saw somebody post in our Creative Finance Facebook group, they were trying to hire an American on American soil to cold call for you. Oh my gosh, like you are entering into a world of pain. No American cold caller will ever be consistent for a long period of time, whereas a VA will. So the return on investment is exponential versus you trying to do it yourself as well. If you're trying to do it yourself, let's be honest. How many people that are watching right now, we have between all of our groups, we have close to 300 people watching right now. So we have some people on YouTube, some people on Facebook, and then we have some people on some other streams. How many people actually are consistently cold calling day in and day out for a month at a time or 2 months at a time, or hell, if anybody's ever done it for 6 months straight, you are a beast, and I will hire you as our VA, our American VA. But that's the challenge, is that nobody that actually cold calls, including investors that are getting to this game, are really that consistent at cold calling. Cody, when you first started and you were out doing outreach, were you consistent at anything that required you to cold call and talk to sellers?
When I was working as an agent, I built my entire business off of cold calling. So I cold called 4 hours a day for about a year and a half.
How much did you enjoy your life?
I wanted to blow my brains out, which is why I got out of traditional real estate and got into wholesaling.
Right. So let's think about that. Okay. $500 to $700 a month to afford a VA is so incredibly inexpensive that all you have to do is stop buying fast food and cook your food at home, and then maybe adjust a couple things in your life. You don't have to go make more money to put that money away. Just adjust your spend on other things. And then all of a sudden you have somebody cold calling for you 8 hours a day. 160 hours a month for that amount of money is crazy return. Now, we expect our cold callers to generate 2 leads per day. Okay, 2 leads per day times 6 days is 12 leads a week from one person. That's a warm lead. That's not some absolute like seller didn't even remember that we called them type of lead, but they're decently good leads. Now, our conversion rate on that is 1 out of 30 when I'm the converter, when I'm the salesperson, and then our sales team, it's 1 out of 40 leads. So every cold caller we have, we expect a minimum of 1 contract a month from that cold caller. So the average assignment fee in Arizona is about $13,000, maybe $15,000, somewhere in that realm. So let's just say it's 10,000, right? Let's say it's your first deal, and let's say it's your first deal, and you get a $10,000 deal because you have to JV with somebody that actually has a buyer's list. You having 1 cold caller that brings you a deal for $10,000, I mean, your return is 10x on that 1 cold caller. That's your return. And
the thing that I would say too, Pace, is people need to understand the cycle, like the life cycle of actually the different channels of leads, right? So PPC, for example, if you get a lead same day, you're usually going to be going and contracting that same seller within the week or
right.
that same day potentially. So it's understanding the different types of leads. So cold call leads usually have a 60, 90-day turn time. So you have to realize that if you're getting leads today, this week, this month, those cold call leads are most likely, obviously you're going to get some that close that month too, but most likely you're going to be following up with those leads and contracting them over the next 60, 90 days. So the leads we're getting in April, we're expecting to get contracts on those leads from our cold callers in May, June, July. So in the contracts we're getting now from our cold callers were leads from January, February, because a lot of them, they require follow-up. So you have to understand that as part of that process too. And so where sometimes it's staggered, say you don't get a contract for a month from one of your callers, but then the next month you get one and it's a fatty contract, you're making a $30,000 assignment fee. So you just have to realize that it's going to stagger. That's how cold calling, it's usually about a 60, 90-day cycle. What I've realized from when a lead comes in to then when we actually contract that lead. Texting's usually sooner, usually within 30 days. PPC's like within a week. So, it's understanding that too. It's if you don't get a deal week 1, month 1, it's not that there's something wrong. It's just that's how that type of lead works. So that's why you want to do texting and calling when you're able to afford to do both, is you're going to be able to get some of those quicker ones, and then you're going to be able to have your pipeline growing too.
A couple things. So John Roughton, I like this question a lot, and I want to jump onto another question of fades. You guys are lighting up these questions are amazing. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Rita, I don't know why Claudio's telling you to ask some questions, but you should ask some damn questions because Claudio knows what he's talking about. So John Roughton, Cody, what do you think he should spend more focused on Acquiring legitimate leads or closing the leads. I struggle with both. Well, I think the reason he probably struggles with both is because he's trying to wear both hats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, John, you know what'd be cool? John, do you want to get on the live with us and have a quick conversation? I'd love to chat with you about like what's going on in your business, where are you at, what are you working on, all that kind of stuff, to find out more about your personality, because your personality is going to allow us to actually answer that question a little bit more specifically. Okay, so another question, Fade. I really do like this question from Fade. Cody, what is the answer to this question, bro?
You differentiate between it being the VA's fault or the list that you pulled. So I look at effort and then skill set, because it's either one or the other. If they're not hitting the amount of hours that they should be calling, they shouldn't even be your VA, number one. So if they're hitting the right amount of hours of dial time, and then it's a skill thing at that point. So that's what you have to look at. I would even look at that with our acquisition team. And I know Pace would agree. It's if our guys are making the right amount of dials or spending the right amount of hours, it's not a work ethic thing. It's a skill thing. So we can work on that. So what we do with our virtual assistants is, we have consistent training with them so that they're consistently hearing, the message and what they're supposed to be looking for. So you have to focus on actually helping them understand what you're looking for. So if you're not hitting your 2 leads a day or 1 contract a month, it's most of the time it's going to be a skill set issue. Or then you have to look at the list that you pulled too. If you're not pulling quality data, like we use Batch because it's quality data. So we don't have to worry about, are we pulling good data? Batch has good data. PropStream has good lists. ListSource has good lists. If you're using those sources for your list, you don't have to worry about that. If they're working the amount of hours they should, you don't have to worry about that. Then it's just a training thing. So it's focusing on making sure that they're understanding the right questions to ask, and identifying if that's actually a legitimate seller lead. So that's what we do, is just consistent weekly training. You have to understand, like, people don't realize virtual assistants are humans. Sometimes they have a bad day. Think about yourself. If any of you have cold called in here, like, I know what it feels like to cold call for hours. So we don't even have our virtual assistants. We make sure they have an hour break halfway through their day. Because think about sitting. Okay, I'm sitting in a chair right now. If you're sitting in a chair for 8 hours straight, just cold calling, think about how efficient you're going to be by hour 4, 5, 6. Like, you're literally going to be wanting to bang your head against the wall because of just sitting there. Your back's hurting. You've been told no a bunch of times. Like, maybe you have a headache because you've been staring at the computer screen. Like, you have to realize these are real people. So it's recognizing that, having a little bit of grace of they're human. They may have had a bad day, but if they're consistently having bad weeks, bad months, then it needs more corrective action. But just understanding that, consistent training goes into it. So like the people at VA Hub Online, they're consistently getting trained every week on different, situations, listening to, sales training, things like that. So that's what we look at. And that's the same with our in-person, staff too.
Hey guys, Paul, I'm going to answer this question, but I'm going to answer it by having Jamil jump in here and answer this question. I just texted Jamil to ask him if he could jump in here. So I do a lot of stuff with probate attorneys. That's like my little secret thing that I try not to tell anybody about, including Paul, who I really, really like. I can't tell you the secrets, bro. I do tell people the secrets, but I try not to tell it to too many people. So Jamil actually has a really good answer for this. He does this a lot. So I'm going to have Jamil come in here and specifically talk about real estate, not real estate agents only, but real estate agents, insurance brokers, probate attorneys, etc. He's going to jump in here in just a second. So I'll come back to your question. But in the meantime, okay, here we go. Here's a list source question for Cody.
If been on the market, ever skip through bats and the source leads, no actual seller. List source hit or miss depending on market. How do list skip through batch from list source leads with no actual seller? That's super weird. I mean, I've never really had that be an issue polling. So it might be market sensitive. I couldn't give you a super educated response on that based on we don't pull lists and tons of markets. We're pulling lists primarily in Arizona, and they do great here. I would suggest maybe trying a different provider, trying maybe PropStream as another list provider for you. I know certain list companies are going to do better in different markets, so I would just try to change up your provider if you're having issues with list source.
I'm working on getting him in, not just Jamil.
Yeah,
Jamil, are you freaking ready for Jamil? Hold on a second. This is hilarious, dude.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Jamil Damji, everybody. Jamil, bro, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Oh my God.
Are you getting sick of hearing my voice yet or what?
No, I like it.
Hold on. I'm gonna pop Jamil on here almost solo as a solo guy. Everybody can still hear us, but you don't need to see us. Bro.
How rich do you need to be to have one of those?
You know, pretty damn rich, bro.
Bro, oh my gosh.
I'm the wholesale genie. I'm here to I'm here to fulfill your wholesale wishes.
Dude, oh my, how'd the live go with Ty today?
It was fun, man. It was a great time. His audience is awesome. They asked a bunch of stellar questions just like yours are. And yeah, I had to pull out the genie hat so that I could answer some magical questions.
Dude, I love that you still have that. The first time I ever saw that, I about burst my stomach wide open from laughing so hard. It's almost as good as your elf costume, honestly. That elf costume from 2 Christmases ago was just so damn good, bro.
I like to have fun for sure.
Guys, if you want to see some funny stuff, go follow Jamil on Instagram. We've got, between all of our platforms, we've got close to 300 people watching right now. But have Jamil go down to his Instagram and check that out. So Jamil, I had a question that was really, really good for you. I'm going to pop it on the screen. It's very long, and then I'm going to pull it off the screen because I want to be able to see your face and watch you respond to this. So read it out loud, and then I'm going to pull it off the screen so you can answer it.
Jamil, are there any business-to-business marketing that can be done? I know probate attorneys would be an example of this, but I'm wondering, oh my gosh, yes.
Now you know I got you on the live.
Are there any other business-to-business opportunities? 1,000%. You want to bring me back so you can see my face? Yeah. So this is a part of my first deal presentation that I give to a lot of noobs. Pace, you've been around for that a bunch of times. And yeah, it's what I call ancillary service providers, right? So people that are around real estate that aren't actually in the transaction. So what kind of people are these? So insurance providers, I'll give you an example of how that works. So let's just say, for instance, you're a homeowner and you get home insurance. You typically get a relationship with your insurance provider. Your broker is the person you call. They get you a policy and whatever happens, right? Now, a lot of times when you're buying wholesale real estate and you get a hard money loan, you need insurance on that property before the lender will fund the deal, because they want to make sure that their asset is protected with an insurance policy. And so what ends up happening is you have a lot of opportunities to give business to these insurance providers by referring them to your buyers every time they get a hard money loan. Now, that's what I do. So every time one of my buyers gets a hard money loan, I always refer the same insurance broker. In fact, I go one step above and I send an email with my buyer and the insurance broker, introducing them, explaining the property that they want insured, giving all of the pertinent details the insurance provider is going to require. And then the insurance provider just responds with a quote. I make it so damn easy for them to say yes. Now, here's why that's important. I have now scratched that insurance provider's back wholly, right? That person is loved by me. They feel revered because they're getting referrals. I'm delivering them business. Here's where I get it back. So every time something happens on a property, whether it be a natural disaster, rainstorm affects the roof, windstorm blows off the AC from the roof, fire, flood, anything that's requiring an insurance agent, the first person a homeowner calls is not the insurance adjuster. It's the person who sold them the insurance, the agent. And so what I've done is I've set up a referral network where that insurance agent now refers me those properties and those people when those circumstances come into their field of awareness. So yes, insurance agents are our first one. Second one that I love to market to are pool cleaning companies, pool cleaning people. They typically are told by homeowners at least a month or 2 months before a sale that they're going to no longer be needing their services. A lot of times homeowners will come out and say, you know, I'm going to be selling my house in May. I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be selling it. And if you can, leave me some business cards, and I'll try to give these business cards to the new owner, and maybe they'll keep you on. Now, what ends up happening is I will actually pay the pool cleaner $100 every time they hand deliver me that lead. So if they know of a sale that's about to happen because an owner has told them they plan to move, I can now call that person and lock that deal up. So landscapers are another. Any business that deals with the homeowner direct, insurance, pool people, warranty services, all of those are great business to business.
Look what Shy Slave just put on the screen.
I made friends with a home fitness repair tech. He sends me leads. I send him customers when they move their equipment. There you go. Shy is amazing. Shy realizes it, right? So when people are moving, they move their fitness equipment, and they typically tell that individual that they're moving, and she gets a referral. That's brilliant. There's another one to add to the list. What up, Jesse Burrell?
Yo, Jamil, I'm going to keep you on here because I want you to help us answer this next question. I have a gentleman named John Roughton who is going to jump on the live here with us.
I'm only good for 3 questions. That was one.
All right. Oh,
we only put him as the main screen. I just want to put a picture.
The whole genie.
I actually sent him a screenshot of himself already on the deal. If he looks at his cell phone, he'll see it. So John Roughton, he asked us a question about 15 minutes ago, and this is his question. I'm going to bring him into the live and let him introduce himself to the group. Hold on just a second. Hey, John, how you doing, brother?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome.
Actually, I can't hear you. That Jets beanie's getting in the way.
I live in Texas now, but I'm a true New Yorker.
I love it. So you're on the live. You've got about 300 people watching, and at the end of the day, you'll have about 3,000 to 4,000 people that will see you. Why don't you tell them what your Instagram name is so they can follow you?
It should be. Let me make sure it's what I'm going to say. It is in a second. Hold on.
So while he's pulling that up to verify that, Jamil, this is the question John asked, and the John on his photo does not have a beard, so I'm super confused on his photo right there. But he says, Cody and Jamil, the genie Jamil, what do you think I should put more focus into, acquiring legitimate leads or closing the leads? I struggle with both. What's your gut feel on how to answer that question, Jamil?
What pays you?
Neither. So I haven't even closed that.
Closing the lead is that's where, that's closing, right? So, or are you talking about converting the lead into a contract?
Both. So yeah, when I was talking about, acquiring legitimate leads, that's what I was talking about. I was bringing leads in, but then closing them because I've had 4 homes under contract, but I couldn't get them through the closing process, so I've been on both sides of the spectrum.
Ooh, man, we've got 3 amazing people to answer these questions. So Jamil, why do you think 4 houses would fall out of contract?
He had no dispositions.
Right.
He had no buyer, right? You focused on acquisition. It sounds like, again, you're still focusing on acquisitions here by saying, do I worry about legitimate leads or converting the leads? You still haven't talked about how you get the check.
Yeah.
Right. So I think you've got a dispositions problem. I think what you need to do is focus on either creating a relationship with a big dog wholesaler in your market that has access to a legit buyers list that can help you sell the deals, or if Keegley's in your marketplace, reach out and we'll help you sell them.
Okay.
Where are you at, John?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
Bro, Jamil, you guys have buyers there?
Austin is my second favorite place in the United States.
Really?
I love that city. Love that city.
I've only got one question left, guys, before I got to go back into my lamp.
I love it. All right. So John, here's my answer to that question. What I would do, because you're a friend of the show, you already have my email. I don't want to share that with everybody because I don't technically manage my email. Somebody else is starting to help me manage that stuff. I will flag you as a favorite in my email.
Got it.
What you need to go focus on right now is go generate some more leads. Okay? Let's go generate some leads. Email me when you get something that is lukewarm, and you and I will convert it together. I will help you close the deal. And guess who's going to sell that deal for us?
Who's that?
Jamil, the genie.
Here's a tip real quick on those. So for those leads, what lukewarm means is they're a seller that you have talked to. They want to sell. They have a timeline on when they want to sell. They've given you the condition of the property. They have a motivation to sell. Those are the biggest things: condition, motivation, timeline. And then if you can get a price, great. If not, price isn't the most important thing to get. If they have the right timeline, the right motivation, and you know the condition, you'll be able to work everything else out.
So
Okay.
what we're going to do is I'll share your email with Cody. We're going to share a couple things with you to help you out. We want to launch you back into getting that first. I don't care about deals. I care about checks. So we want to get, you know how many deals Cody and I cancel? Probably 1% of our deals we end up ever having to cancel because we have a system. We know when we're buying the deal, we know exactly where it's going to end up selling. And we know that we have good dispositions on the back end. Our dispositions is the vacuum sucking everything else through the process. The dispositions is like the foundation. We want to know what we can sell that bad boy at. What it sounds like is you went through a lot of effort to set up a conveyor belt for your deals, but at the very end, you didn't have anything to actually capture the leads or capture your deals the right way and have an actual buyer on the back end. Or you might have locked those up too high so you couldn't sell them. But the way to actually know that is go to your dispositions department, which right now your dispositions department is Jamil. Go to Jamil. Jamil, how does he reach you? He DM'd you, right?
Yeah, DM me on Instagram. If you don't mind, Pace, you can put my Instagram up, or it's in my name actually. It's in my @JDamji. Hit me up on Instagram if you've got a deal that you want us to underwrite, and I will, depending on what market you're in. You're in Texas, so I'd be putting you in with Zach. Zach he completely understands the pricing over there. He'll tell you exactly what number you need to lock it up at in order for us to sell it. And that will save you all kinds of brain damage.
And look here, Tyler Hurst, a friend of the show, he is asking you to squad up with him in Austin.
Squad.
He did send me a DM, though. He said he'll squad up with you and help you as long as you take the Jets beanie off your head.
I'm sorry, Tyler. If that's the case, I don't know if we can meet up, man. I know.
All right, John, we appreciate you. We're going to help you out.
Thank you.
Got a squad. Please, hey, Tyler, how can John reach out to you so you guys can link up? You guys need to be squatting up and doing Zoom calls and all sorts of stuff together. How can he link up with you? John, watch the rest of the show. He's going to put his information in the comments.
Got it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. So, Jamil, that's a lot of fun, bro. I'm glad that you're on the show with us. You want to answer one more question?
I got one more question, then I got to go back to my lamp.
All right, guys, we got a magic genie on the show today. We didn't really plan on this, but we've got a magic genie. By the way,
magic genie, take a picture of it and put it in your Instagram story.
Cody, you can't tell people that Austin is your favorite city and not tell people what your actual favorite city is. You got Ashley Bullock all pissed off right now.
I mean, Phoenix, Arizona. I mean, not Phoenix itself, but more like Scottsdale. I love Arizona. Love Arizona.
Love it. All right, guys. So I'm going to answer a very fresh question. So, guys, we've got okay, let's see. I want to get one that Jamil's really good for. So, migrating to a wholesale business. Okay. Hold on. Maybe. Let's see. Okay, this is a Pace question. I'm not going to answer that right now because Jamil's got dinner. And I know Natalie's over there probably cooking up some good Canadian poutine or whatever it is that you guys eat over there.
Oh, legit. I put some Netflix on. I got Jasmine. She's about to do a belly dance for me. I mean, I got the monkey.
Role play night.
Yeah, it's genie night, bro.
I love it. Let's see, guys. Let's get a question in here for Jamil, whether it's about disposition, buyers list. Also, Jamil has a superpower. Obviously, he's. Hold on. Yo, my text blast question made for Jamil. Hold on. Do I need to go look for this? Guys, like managing a live and talking and entertaining you guys and filling the dead air is a lot harder than you guys might think. And so sometimes I do miss your comments. So if you want your, okay, let's see. Is that it? That's not it. Please ask the question again, because Shelby, you said text blast question made for Jamil. This is really cool, guys. I like to see this stuff squatting up. John Routon and Tyler are connecting in Houston or in Austin. That's what Wholesale Hotline's all about, guys, by the way. Look at this. Hey, Jamil, Kayla Lopo, guess who else sells deals in Tampa, Florida? Jamil. Tampa's was a hot market. Maybe it's just a warm market at this point, but Tampa's one of you guys' best markets, right?
Yeah, it's dope. Reach out, Kayla. Reach out.
You guys actually have boots on the ground there.
Lots. We got boots on the ground. We've got all kinds of dispositions help. We can help you with ACT. We can help you with all of it in Tampa. Tampa is, in fact, Caleb and Tori are there. I mean, we're legit Tamponians.
Kayla, Jamil right here on the screen. Jamil does a lot. They do a lot of deals in Tampa. You need to connect with Jamil. DM Jamil. Okay, so that's not a Jamil question. Jamil is primarily disposition, which is an incredibly important part of the process. By the way, guys, we have people squatting up in here. I freaking love it. Kayla, so you need to reach out to Jamil at JDamji on Instagram. Okay, boom. Here we go. Creighton Bertrand. Jamil, why don't you answer that question for us or read it out loud?
Jamil, how do we decide what market to buy in and stay away from? I think right now you want to stay in major metropolitan areas, okay? Stay away from anything that's a softer market, whether it be, attached to tourism, resorts, has under 500,000 people, is more than 40 miles away from a major metro. I would stay away from areas like that. Right now, in this market, you want to stay in major metropolitan areas. That's where the activity is extremely hot right now. Retail sales are through the roof. Actually, there's multiple offers in Phoenix. I know there's multiple offers in Dallas, Houston. It's same as happening in Orlando on the retail side. So I would stay in major metropolitan areas, and I would make sure that the populations are over 500,000, and that's my answer.
I love that. Absolutely love that. Guys, Jamil, thank you for jumping on the show. I appreciate you a lot.
Thank you, guys.
You're a freaking man. And we'll get you on the show in the future. Thank you so much, homie.
Appreciate you all. I will catch you in my lamp.
Thank you, homie. So, guys, that's Jamil Damji. Hold on. Cody sent me a text message, very private text message. Hold on a second.
What did I send you? Don't want to read that. And there's a lot of questions on here.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
I know, right? This makes you laugh.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys a little secret about something that people hate when we tell inside secrets. So I'm going to tell everybody what Cody just sent me a text of. This is something to watch out for when you're dealing with a title company, guys. It's incredibly important to choose a title company. It's not a bunch of idiots. So we have a title company that we chose on a specific transaction, not the one we normally use, but our normal one is a little overloaded. So we jumped over to another title company we use for certain things. And now we own our own title company. So that's pretty simple. But this transaction has been going on for a while since we built our own title company. So what happens is our title company sends us an email today. Is the deal already closed, by the way, or no?
Closes on Monday. That was just the final head.
Oh my gosh. So your title company should be it's almost like they don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
They don't. They're just oblivious, don't care.
What they did is they wrote an email to the seller, us, the lender, the other person we assigned it to, and they sent the HUD to everybody a day or two or a whole weekend before close of escrow. So it's not, I mean, it's happened before, but it's something that it just shows you that title company does not care about our business. We've explained to them, do not copy our buyer and our seller together, because they are not actually in a transaction together. It's a transaction between the seller and us, and then us and the person we're assigning to on the back end. Those are two completely different parts of the transaction. They don't need to know what's going on. So literally, they wrote each other an entire email. Our title company blasted out with our assignment fee on it. What did we make on that one? Like 22 grand?
Yeah. So literally just looking at it on the HUD, I'm like, nice.
Freaking amazing, dude. Amazing. So it happens, guys. You got to watch out for that. So when you guys are interviewing brand new wholesalers, we always ask them. So Alex, I'm going to point this out. We always ask them to hide it from each other. I physically sit down with the title company, and the challenge is, because this title company is not who we primarily choose, they'll say, oh, we made a mistake. They know what to do. They absolutely know what to do. They've been educated, coached along, but it just is the nature of the business. You guys have to be prepared for that kind of stuff.
Typically had a conversation about not doing this week with her.
Yeah, but yeah, Alex, we sit down with our title company, and our title company that we own is it absolutely. If you do that, you're fired. You're done. That's rule number one, especially dealing with wholesale, subject to, etc. Does Keegley buy commercial? No, not typically. They don't. They kind of don't really operate in that world, except for maybe multifamily and stuff. Let's see. Which subject? Paul, what are you talking about, brother? Let's see. Let's answer a couple more questions, and let's jump into pulling a list. We're already at an hour and 40 minutes, dude. Holy crap.
Maybe we save that so we don't rush through it. I know I'm a pain in the butt, but my sister leaves tomorrow, and we're supposed to have dinner in a bit.
Oh, shoot. Okay, guys. Let's answer a couple more questions for like 5 minutes, and let's do that tonight. Do you double close on every deal? Cody, answer that bad boy.
No, we do not. We actually don't. We usually don't ever double close unless it's like a drastic situation where we just have to. If there's like a really, upset party that we're working with, we will. Or, usually if we're going to close on it, we're just closing on it and then going to sell it once we own the property. We usually close on the property if we're wholesaling it and we're having an issue with the seller. We'll close on it and then sell it once we actually own the property and make it easier to access it or whatever we need to. But we only double close if there's a real sketchy seller, or if our assignment fee is super high and we have a seller that might be sensitive to that. Our buyers are not going to be sensitive to our assignment fees because they're not a buyer of ours if they're going to be sensitive and count our chips. If they're counting our chips, they're not someone we're going to do business with. So we don't really double close very often.
Love that. Here's a question for you.
Pull landlords in a specific city. So on ListSource, you can pull, I'd have to see on PropStream. I haven't pulled that specific list on PropStream, but I'm sure you can. The functionalities on there are awesome. But like on ListSource, you can pull absentee owners, so just non-owner occupied properties, and then you can just you could pull that list and sort it based on people owning multiple properties.
Here's another question for you, brother.
I don't want to cold call someone I'm unknowingly texting. Honestly, we don't really sort that out. A lot of times, like we've probably had it happen one time in the last year where we've gotten the same lead as a text lead and a cold call lead. Literally one time out of over 1 million, probably or more touches on leads. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. A lot of times your avatar of the type of seller you're texting is different than somebody that's answering a cold call. Like you're never going to reach me cold calling me, like 0% chance. I clear every single call that comes to my phone unless I know the phone number. So I don't, like, you're never going to reach me cold calling, but if you text me, I might answer. But it's different. Like a senior probably isn't going to be texting you back, but they might be answering your phone call. So I wouldn't worry about that.
So Paula Diamond asks, is PropStream a good source to skip trace? Guys, I travel the entire country. I go help other people get their first deals. In fact, Jamil and I were on like a 6-week tear where we were in 6 different cities in 6 different weeks, and every single week we helped somebody get their first deal. So I go meet hundreds of people. We go do these meetups and we go help people get their first deal and kind of scale their businesses. And that's the purpose of Jamil and I, the Pace and Jamil Do America tour. And in that tour, I meet a lot of people. I meet a lot of other investors. A resounding answer nationwide, not just here in Arizona, which is where batch leads and batch skip tracing is. Resounding answer. Everybody says batch skip tracing is the best. So we don't mess with it. We know it's nationwide the absolute best data. And if data comes down to getting deals, I'm not messing with anybody else. I'm not going to play around until if the wheel isn't broke, why fix it? So we like PropStream because PropStream has the ability to look up properties nationwide, whereas ListSource, it's just a little bit challenging. You can't comp with ListSource, right? It's more about pulling leads or pulling lists. With PropStream, we can comp nationwide, especially when we're buying subject twos nationwide. But on the skip tracing, batch skip just has the best. That's it. And as you can see from my homeboy Phil Gore. Phil, we talked about you a little bit earlier. I don't know if you were on the show earlier, but we were talking about the integrator visionary roles. So batch is absolutely the best, hands down. I agree with that. And yes, PropStream does skip trace. We don't use them. They're not the best. They're good at doing nationwide stuff, but they're not the best. I mean, I wouldn't send you to PropStream and not send you to skip trace if I didn't have a better answer for you. Better answer to get better data is through batch skip. So let's answer one more question, and then what we're going to do tonight, guys. I'm sorry we didn't get to the bread and butter, but hopefully you guys got some value out of this. What we're going to do is we're going to start doing this every week, and we're going to cap it to an hour and a half rather than an hour and 45 minutes, which is where we're at now. What we're going to start doing is we're going to actually start going through our workflow. We're going to be pulling lists. We're going to be skip tracing. We're going to be cold calling. I actually think it might even be better next week, Cody, if we can somehow do it here with the big camera.
Yeah, let's do that. And then we'll be able to run through it, and then we could literally live follow up with the leads. We'll get the list, upload it, pulled from PropStream. We'll get it skip traced, upload it, and then we'll actually call them those leads.
Love it. So guys, next week, what we're going to do is this week we are going to do a screen record of Andres's workflow, and anybody that goes in and puts their email in the mentorship thing, you don't have to sign up for the mentorship. Just put your email in there so we have it. What we'll do is we'll send you an email with a screen recording of Andres, our texter, text messaging for a couple of hours and managing the workflow and all that kind of stuff. I think that would be tremendously helpful for a lot of people. And then next week, we are going to start calling. By the way, guys, people act like we don't do this. I cold call like a couple times a week. We'll jump in with our sales team and I will cold call live. So we're going to start doing it more on a so if you go watch some of our previous lives, you'll see me calling on our existing leads. But what I want to do is I actually want to generate a new lead with Cody, fresh, so we can, what is that?
New lead's coming. New lead just came to another text lead. We've gotten like 3 text leads and 4 cold call leads since we've been on the live.
So next week, we're going to do me calling the sellers live on our fresh leads, and then also having Cody generate those leads live as well, utilizing all the platforms that we like. So please, guys, do me a favor. Charles, drop your usernames. What do you mean, bro? Here's the link. If you guys want access to the Facebook group, you guys want access
Instagram or what usernames?
I guess maybe Instagram. I don't know. My Instagram is Pace Morby. Cody's is official Cody Barton. But go to that link, and that link will direct you to all of our stuff. So, guys, next week, Friday, 4 p.m. for an hour and a half, every Friday for the foreseeable future, we are going to go start to finish talking to sellers, coordinating the generation of leads, and also converting to deals. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys. Please share this with other people. Please let everybody know about what we're doing. I want to get this up to like 500 people watching us cold call live. Right now, we're only getting up to like 300 people live. So it's cool, but it'd be a lot cooler to have 500 people. Cody, tell people about what you're up to, where they can find you if they're not already following you.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Cody Barton Official. Hit me up. If you're in the Phoenix market and you have deals that you're needing help underwriting, you could reach out to me on Instagram. We'll get you in touch with our team to help underwrite those opportunities. If you need to get virtual assistants, onboarded, reach out to me. I'll get you in touch with them, or you can go directly to vahubonline.com. So that's pretty much it. We're just cranking it out.
Tonight. Do you take a day off? You're working all the time. Guys, when you love what you do, I'm not joking you absolutely never feel like you're working. I don't feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm hanging out with my friends all day long. Mm-hmm. I feel like we're having a lot of fun. Guys, I'm getting a lot of people asking about how much the mentorship costs. If you're really interested in it, then go and sign up for a phone call and we'll go through like all the stuff. It depends on who you are and what you need and what level you're at in your business. This is not a mentorship where you just watch a set of videos and you learn through watching videos. You can see how much value we give people, okay? We give people a tremendous amount of value for free. Just imagine what we do when people pay us for stuff. That mentorship is not just taking a horse to water, it's forcing the water in the horse's mouth and getting you to a level of success. So can you do a day in the life of Pace? Usually, yeah, I'd love to do that. Actually, that'd be pretty cool. Me and John just found out we live close and we were going to Squat Up this weekend. Great job, Tyler. I appreciate you offering that to John. You definitely are the man for doing that. I really, really appreciate that. So, guys, thank you so much. Sunday service, Sunday night at 7:00. We only talk creative financing on Sunday nights. Only creative financing. Friday is going to be about running your operation from behind the scenes, behind the curtain. And please share your friends. Please tag people. Please tell everybody about what we're doing. We're trying to do this all for free to bring value to you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you.